that were used to form the creation, and we'll get into that a little bit. But when we talk about templates, we can understand that the three forces, the three living, conscious, eternal God forces that everything is made out of, take on the form of scalar standing waves that begin as a cycling of units of the consciousness of God. It starts with what are called Partakai units. Now, Partakai units would be units that are the carriers. They're standing scalar waves. They make up the scalar wave grid within those three primal force spheres of energy. The Partakai is the carrier of the Manu force. And the Partakai unit, in terms of science, cycles. It's a scalar wave that flashes off and on. When it flashes, when it's in its flash stage, it flashes on and becomes a Partakai unit, which is a light unit, turns into Mane. When it flashes, then it cycles into Ire, goes from light to sound, back again. They actually happen at the same time. Light and sound are created at the same time, just like when I was speaking about the first creation where we had Manu and the Ire and the Mane. It's actually the Manu was created, and then within the Manu, the Ire and the Mane simultaneously emerged. The Ire was created, but simultaneously the Mane came from the combination of the Manu and the Ire. So when we take it into science, when we take it into the behavior of ultra-micro particles, because what these units of the consciousness of God are in terms of science, they are literally particles that would be so tiny, the building blocks of the particles, things like quarks and those kind of things. These are the smaller things behind those that these things are built, that the things science is finding now are built on. Science has not found the smallest particles that exist. Waveforms that are the basis for these templates, these standing scalar waves that are the carriers of the living God force consciousness. Science doesn't even remember they exist. And there's a whole movement that has been here for a number of hundred years, as science was ever so carefully allowed to develop on this planet, that science was intended and it was cultivated to take us away from an understanding of God. Why? Because if we understand God in terms of science as well, we begin to remember divine science, which means we begin to remember who we are and the power that we have and the commission that we came here to do, which was to reset the divine blueprint on this planet. Humans were commissioned for this purpose. They were asked by God, they were created by God to serve that purpose. And they were created to do that because they wanted to as well. It wasn't that somebody said you have to go, like set the divine blueprint down there, whether you like it or not. It wasn't one of those. We were actually part of God, as everything else was, and before we came into individuation, we decided there needed help in this particular area of